Welcome back, everyone. Last time we were talking about the MVC architecture, and this time we are going to see how this MVC architecture is actually operationalized within a Laravel project. What I find is that most, if not all, the Laravel tutorials just start with coding, but I think it is imperative that we first understand what exactly that we are coding, how the various parts of the project are interacting with each other within the MVC framework. So first of all, as you know, the models represent the data and business logic for the application. They interact with the database and encapsulate the logic for retrieving, updating, creating, deleting the data. And in Laravel, models are typically stored in app/models. So if you go over here, you can see that there is this app folder at the top. And within the app folder, you will see that there is a models folder. And within the models folder, you will find the different models that we are going to use. So to begin with, there is a user model. And as you can see, even though you don't understand the whole code, that's fine because later I'm going to teach you that anyway. You will see that it represents a model of the user entity, and models are responsible for defining relationship between data entities using eloquent relationships, which I'll talk about later. So that was the M, the model part of it. And then let's come to the view part of it. The views are responsible for presenting data to the user, and usually they inhabit the resource folder. So if you go down here, you will see that there is a resource folder over here. And if I just open this folder, you will see that we have all the different resources: CSS, JavaScript, and of course views. And we already have one view at least, which is a blade file. You can see that the name of this file is welcome.blade.php, and it is auto-generated when we create the Laravel project. So this is what it looks like. This is a presentation form. You can see that all the styling and classes and all the text that is going to be shown to the end user is all here. So this is a view, and this is where the view resides in. And now let's talk about controller. Controller handles user request, process data, and generate appropriate responses. And this is also uh, is in the HTTP folder, just like models. And you can see here is controller, right? And this controller has the controller logic. I mean, not much is going on here right now, but as we make a more complex project, a lot more will be going on there. And there are a few more components in this MVC framework when Laravel is concerned. And one of the very important component is routes. So routes is in the routes folder. You will see that there is API channels console web.php. So what routes does is we will usually be dealing with web.php to begin with. And what route does is it defines how an incoming request should be handled and route it to the appropriate controller method. And a Laravel routing mechanism allows you to define routes in web.php or routes slash api.php. And as you can see here that this is a route, and what it basically does is it takes the incoming request, which is just a slash, which means the IP address or the domain name itself. And this is called a closure. Usually uh, it it gives a control to the controller, but if it is something very short, you can write this as a closure. So what it is doing is that it returns this view welcome. And when we write welcome over here, the Laravel already knows that It means welcome.blade.php, which resides in the views folder. So this is routes is also a very important uh, component of MVC architecture of Laravel. And then, of course, we have middleware and databases, also very important components, which I will talk about them later.